Hello everyone and welcome back to another Korean movie review by EonTalk. As always, I'm your host Ian, and today's video movie review will be on the new Korean crime/noir film, Tomb of the River. Tomb of the River was directed by Yoon Young-bin, who I believe was making his feature film debut with this film, and saw Yoo Sung and Jang Hyuk returning to the big screens in the gangster/noir genre. The film also starred Park Sung-geun and Oh Dae-won, and had supporting cast members with familiar faces such as Lee Hyun-gyun, Shin Seung-hwan, Lee Chae-young, and Han Sun-hwa. There were very minimal marketing efforts for the film in my opinion. Sure, there were posters and advertisements here and there, but definitely not as much push as one might think there'd be with the movie starring the two main casts. If you know me, I'm a major fan of this genre when it comes to Korean movies. Some of my all-time favorites are films in this genre such as New World, Nameless Gangster, and Friend. But was Tomb of the River worth mentioning along with those other masterpieces? Let's first take a look at the detailed synopsis of the film before diving deeper into the review. Kil-suk is part of one of the biggest gangs in the city of Gangneung, and he's always put great emphasis on maintaining a peaceful state. One day, he's offered the management position of a massive resort in his city, but Min-suk, who's also going after the ownership of the resort, suddenly appears. From their first meeting, high tensions are felt, and in order to achieve his goal, Min-suk starts to put his thoughts into action, and a war between gangs unravels. Before getting deeper into the review, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to ExpressVPN. If you're looking to access more Korean movies but don't know where to find them, I highly suggest using ExpressVPN and accessing more content. By using ExpressVPN, you can bypass geo restrictions, meaning you can be from anywhere around the world and access other countries' servers. If you'd like to access more Korean content, be sure to sign up for ExpressVPN using my link in the descriptions or expressvpn.com/EonTalk and get 49% off an annual plan plus 3 extra months for free. Better yet, if you sign up and don't like the service, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, meaning you can cancel anytime within the first 30 days. Okay, getting back to the review, I'd just like to say that I'll be giving my thoughts and opinions of the movie from here on out. Therefore, there may be minor spoilers or parts about the movie that you may not want to hear before watching yourself. I'm going to keep spoilers to a minimum, but please be aware of this. That being said, let's get right into what I found to be the good parts about Tomb of the River. Right off the bat, I must mention that the movie had great casting of Yoo Sung and Jang Hyuk, two actors specialized in this field. Yoo Sung in the gangster/noir genre and Jang Hyuk in the action genre. Yoo Sung is an absolute legend with his performance in one of the most well-received noir films out of Korean cinema, Friend. And his charisma hasn't changed at all, as his glare and fierce eyes remain just as powerful in this. Also, Jang Hyuk gave his signature action moves in Tomb of the River as well. As mentioned, there were very little promotions of the film, but despite the lack of marketing, the movie had a surprisingly good cast. No, it wasn't full of A-listers, but there were some familiar faces in the film that you can recall seeing from somewhere else before. Moreover, the movie did a good job at showcasing the lives of these quote-unquote gangsters, how they live every day, how they behave around one another, things that we don't usually really see from the front end. To what extent does this reflect reality is another story, but it was interesting to see the movie's take on this. For example, how the subordinates drink and smoke in front of their boss, and how they light the cigarettes for their bosses as well. It's these details that had me intrigued in the beginning. The film doesn't rely on extravagant CGI, visual effects, or utilize sound and auditory effects. Sure, it does have it, more so as it draws near its conclusion, but it doesn't overuse it, especially in the first half, which is where I found the majority of the positive elements of the film lies. Instead, it tries to give a sense of suspense through other methods such as the dialogue, facial expressions of the actors, and the overall acting performances. There's this strange, mysterious tension between Jang Hyuk and Yoo Sung from their first meeting, and there aren't background music or visual effects that are used to create this atmosphere. It solely relies on the two actors' performances to give off that tension. And the final good thing I found about the film was that it had frequent humor points through its first half, and the humor it creates is also quite unique. From the attitude/mannerism of the characters, the language, the spoken dialect, etc., these were what created the lighter tones that kept the balance of not going too dark. Okay, let's now take a look at what I found to be the negatives of the film. The biggest negative of Tomb of the River was its story. I kind of hinted that the movie was good for the first half, and I'll say it here now, the movie spirals into a downfall after the halfway mark. It gets extremely slow and feels like it drags so much that there isn't much progression, and the reason for this, in my opinion, is that the story was really generic and predictable with no originality, which is why the audience keeps thinking that they can guess what's to come, which ultimately is the case. Furthermore, the movie tries way too hard to be hard. Although I highly enjoyed the natural tension it gave at the start, the more the movie progressed, the more it forced the noir vibe, which made it seem like they were simply trying too hard. And finally, the organization structure was a bit confusing. This ultimately is because there were several characters in the film that looked alike, who were on different sides, so you start being confused as to who's who and who's on which side. There were two bigger characters that looked extremely similar, but were on opposite teams, and so you start losing track of who's who. There also were characters with long hair that resembled one another, which had the same identity problem. If there were distinctive features or methods, such as hairstyle or clothing choices, that differentiated the two sides or just between the characters, it would have been much more helpful. Tomb of the River was a film of the noir/gangster genre that Korean cinema does oh so well. With Yoo Sung and Chang Hyuk's incredible chemistry, the film was enjoyable to watch as the two started building heat between one another. However, I have to say that beyond the acting, the story itself wasn't anything special and was a B-class movie with A-class stars acting. The movie would be good on B-class standards, but not so much in the A-class mainstream level, especially since there are so many great Korean noir movies. I'll give Tomb of the River a ticket price value of $7. And that concludes today's review on Tomb of the River. Thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I hope this review has given you some insight into the film. If you've seen or are planning to watch the movie, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the film, so please leave a comment or join the EonTalk Telegram group and we can discuss over there. If you'd like to access more Korean content, be sure to sign up for ExpressVPN using my link in the descriptions to get 49% off an annual plan. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like more video movie reviews. Once again, thank you to everyone that watched till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
세상에 말이야, 말만큼 의미 없는 게 없어요. 같이 살자 해놓고도 급하면 친구 심정부터 씹어먹는 게 그게 인간이야.
애초에 네가 원했던 게 이게 아니야?
내 경찰이래. 법 어기면 이라고 예의 없어.
그럼 되겠네. 너는 네 할 일 하고 나는 내 할 일 하고. 억울하나? 너는 억울하면 안 돼.